it's going to be a bit of an ad hoc segment.
Let's do it. Bring it on.
All right. So I found these right before Ken and I were coming on, and due to time restraints, we had not had much time to prep. So we are going to be looking, and we have a few. It's going to be like last undefeated team, last winless team, team to score the most points, score the fewest points, things like that. So we're just going to run through, look at the odds, and give you our takes on each. So starting first with last undefeated. I'm sorry we don't have more preparation to talk about schedule and stuff like that, but we're just going to be looking at odds and going off of it. So Ken, while you think, I will go first on this one and be bold, and I'm going to have to go with the Miami Dolphins. So I'm pretty sure they actually have like the hardest schedule to start the year, or it's the hardest schedule across the whole year period. That means up front it's going to be tough, but I'm still going to believe in them at plus 2,600. There's always that team. It was the Ravens to me last year who were always coming out and, getting those crazy comeback wins. They did it to the Dolphins. They did it to the Bills. And I think Miami is going to have that spark, that fire in them. After coming off a year with injuries, you get your second year under Mike McDaniel. They have a better idea of who they are. And they brought in Vic Fangio defensively, which I think will be a huge boost to the weakest unit of their team. So Miami Dolphins plus 2,600. It's ugly because of the schedule, but I'm going to bet on them to overcome that ugliness and come out as, the longest undefeated team, the team that's undefeated for the longest time.
Well, last year, what was it? Tua started 7-0. Games he completed, and sure, not a horrible bet, absolutely.
Well, also they're a speed team, and in the summer and in the heat, that's when they thrive. Or the spring, or fall, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm. The San Francisco 49ers at plus 1,000 is always like a interesting one. They're just a good team. That's all there is to it. They have a good defense. Brock Purdy looks healthy. That was a question. It's a whole year with Christian McCaffrey. I mean, and more. They're in the NFC, and that certainly helps. But the team I'm going to go with are the Buffalo Bills. I think a lot of people just kind of forget about the Buffalo Bills because they've been good for a few years. That they have their marquee game is a loss, even though it was still an amazing game, probably the best game of football played in the last 25 years. But still a loss. I think that they just get stagnant with the offense or in our minds because they're the same thing, but just because they haven't changed, don't take anything back from them. So has nothing to do with the fact that I got a lot of James Cook and Josh Allen on my fantasy teams, but I would happily see them go 10-0 to start.
I'm with you. Now everyone knows Josh Allen can have stinker games, but remember, like the first 10 games last year, they were a Goliath. It was them to win the Super Bowl, period, is what it looked like. Everyone was competing for second in power rankings. And then, Josh Allen got nicked up a little bit and things started to fall apart. But absolutely a team I could see starting off strong and just running through because that's they play bully football, which sounds kind of funny because everyone should play that way, right? All right, now
the two teams I picked, the two biggest bullies out there, the 49ers and the Bills. Sounds good.
Last winless team. Okay, so Commanders are top 10 ranking this, and I'm not picking them because I have them to win the division. But I'm gonna go crazy with this one, and I'm gonna go the Giants at plus 2,300. I've talked about how they won a lot of close games in ridiculous ways last year. Like I think the Packers. I remember watching A.J. Dillon had a wide open hole to score a touchdown and win the game with like a minute left, pretty much. And he went the wrong way and got tackled in the backfield. And just little things like that compounded, made them, it was like 6-0, maybe like 8-2 or something. And then, they stumbled, got a lucky playoff win against the Vikings team that wasn't that good. But I can see them just struggling early on. And, plus 2,300 is good odds when you put it up against teams like the Steelers, the Bears, the Patriots, Jets. I think all those teams just have more talent offensively, and I am not a believer in Daniel Jones to recreate what he did last year, and that's really the driver behind this. They don't have offensive weapons. I mean, you're talking Paris Campbell, Isaiah Hodgins, Darius Slayton, Darren Waller is getting all the buzz, but I think it's, we saw that offense for the Raiders for a year or two, and it's not great. So, what do you got?
Well, I had a team here, and I will talk about them, but just a few surprises that for some higher up teams like the Tennessee Titans. Yes, as much as I like the Jags, I don't hate the Tennessee Titans at the plus 1100. That just seems pretty disrespectful to Vrabel, who's
they have the
winner.
Second best odds to win their division, yet they're the longest win. Yeah, so it kind of doesn't make sense.
I certainly would pick the Colts before them. Like I said, I think so. All of the metrics for like Josh Richardson were not good as throwers, and I mean the bit as a thrower in college, and he didn't really need it. And he is a complete. I mean, the quintessential elite athlete at quarterback, but I just see a lot of struggling for them, especially. I mean, the whole Jonathan Taylor saga. I mean, there's not much to help them out, and Michael Pittman is a reliable receiver. And that is the best thing you can say about anyone else on that offense that's not Josh Richardson, who's a rookie.
Anthony Richardson.
Oh, my God.
You're talking about one of my favorite NBA 2K players when say Josh Richardson.
Yeah. I've said it a few times, too. Sorry about that.
It's all good. They caught on. They listened until this point.
I drafted a lot of Josh Allen, so sorry. But anyways, certainly like the Colts at plus 1800, but I'm sorry, the most ridiculous thing I've heard all year so far is the Arizona Cardinals are refusing to name a starter to keep a competitive edge at quarterback. You went through the whole offseason and you're not even going to say who the starter is. I am sorry. Like I'm sure somebody won it, in camp, but and it was probably Josh Dobbs, who they just traded the Browns for.
That's what he did for Tennessee last year, right? Like, it was like, oh, Malik Willis is our starter, now Tannehill's out. And it's like, dude, Josh Dobbs, you've been here for 3 days. Go out there and save us.
Yes. And so I think that I actually like Josh Dobbs, and I think that that's the right decision. But at the same time, pick a starter. Oh, my God. Like,
you're going hard.
It's not. You had a whole preseason, and you're not going to name the starter. And also, I don't think teams care. Like the whole competitive edge. I don't think that saying, Josh Dobbs versus whatever that quarterback, the rookie quarterback is, doesn't matter. So, yes, I'm happy I haven't drafted many Arizona Cardinals. And if you wanted to pick them, sure, because I do not think Kyler Murray is coming back after the week 4, or when he's eligible to return in week 4.
So one more team I want to point out, because I just looking in I ignored them for a minute, but now I see them, and it's like the Raiders. They're in the AFC. Josh McDaniels is just an awful coach. They got rid of Derek Carr. They brought in Jimmy Garoppolo, who's probably going to sprain his ankle on throw number 3. And they have some talent, but I don't think this is a well-run organization. I don't think I don't think they're well coached. So I guess I'm just out on the Raiders, man. And at plus 1800, I could see them being a team to struggle early on. So I pulled up their schedule while you were talking, and it's Broncos, a team I like, Bills, Steelers, Chargers, Packers, who I at least think are a buttoned up organization, Patriots, Bears, Lions. Like the Giants are the only other team I could see them beating, and that's November 5th. I'm sure they'll probably have a win or two by then, but you get the idea that I think that team actually has it rough in the AFC without a lot, with Devontae Adams and friends out there, in my opinion. So, and they're just so poorly coached. We haven't seen Josh McDaniels do anything. So I am out on them.
Well, it all depends how fat Josh Jacobs is coming in. If he's coming in out of shape, it's going to be a rough start to the year. But Jimmy G's a winner, man. Yes, it was in San Fran.
And he's going to keep that reputation when he sprains his ankle and isn't starting anymore. All right, so not interested in best and worst record. Here's the ones I wanted to talk about. Team to score the least regular season points. These are always fun to me because it's like It's just kind of wild what you can see. So I got first dibs here, and it is the Tennessee Titans. This offense, if Nuke Hopkins isn't a great wide receiver, Treylon Burks is already a little bit beat up. I could see this offense being completely flat, doing the Derrick Henry thing, which is okay, but he's older. I don't think we're going to see as many of those 80-yard touchdown runs, just because after you run that much, his legs have got to wear down eventually. He's not going to have that same speed to break away. So plus 2,000, I could see the Tennessee Titans have a really hard time trying to score, and they have that run first mentality that can hamper you in this situation.
So a few things that I look for in this one are a really good defense and a poor offensive line. And so obviously, weapons and not having a quarterback are huge, but
that's a pre-qualifier to be in this top 3,000.
I was going to say they're already all in there. But the two, ironically, we've talked a lot about the Buccaneers being a team that can win, but they play a slow game. They have a good defense. I mean, Baker Mayfield can win a lot of 12-9 games, and they don't have to score a ton. That one and the Carolina Panthers are two. That division, besides the New Orleans Saints, there's just not a lot of offense that I'm really, really excited about or believe in. And so Carolina, I've heard just awful things about their line in the preseason. They have a solid defense. If they have a good defense, it doesn't produce turnovers because lack of aggressive play on the offense, and an offense that can't move too well, and just check out the Panthers last year with Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold. That, it was pretty rough to watch. I like those two. So Carolina Panthers plus 800 and Tampa Bay Buccaneers plus 1,500.
One more I'm just going to drop before we move on, just real quick, and that is it's the Patriots and the Falcons at plus 3,000 and 4,000. That is just because of the style of their play and the fact that they want to have a good defense and they want to have a run first offense. I won't talk much more, but just things that stood out before I started scrolling.
A big surprise there if you go up though. What was it? Is it the third highest? Chicago Bears to score the least amount. Talk about not believing in Justin Fields. Wow.
Oh my gosh. We're gonna feel real dumb right now. It says team to score. Oh, it's team to score. Okay. Next is concede. So I just wanted to make sure that I saw the header here. I'm like, oh man, did we just do the whole score when it's supposed to be give up? But we're all good. All right. So now we have team to concede the least regular season points. These are the best defenses coming out. I sent this in a message. It makes no sense to me that the Browns are the third ranked here. I like their defense, but man, that is really high for a defense that we blamed for all their losses last year. Joe Woods being a problem, just collapsing in fourth quarters. So just shocked to see them third overall here. But now a team I actually believe that can take the title here, and that is the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, this team is defense first. They want to not play they don't want to play an explosive brand of offense. They're going to be, pounding Najee Harris. Their offensive line still isn't that good. And they're going to hope that George Pickens and Deontay Johnson can make a 50-yard catch and they can win a game 3-0. So I think at plus 1,400, they get the elements on their side late in the year because where they're located and the teams in the division they're in. So I think 1,400, you could do a lot worse than to say, give me the Steelers.
I kind of agree. One of the other teams that kind of jumps out are the New York Jets, just being that Aaron Rodgers loves to play slow. He is, I mean, for as good as he's been, he doesn't throw for a ton of yards. He uses the entire play clock. He likes to do that. And he is totally fine. Everything I heard out of Green Bay is it wasn't, a Matt LaFleur or Nathaniel Hackett thing. It's Aaron Rodgers likes to he's just totally fine winning a 17-10 game or 24-10. And the difference is the New York Jets have a defense that is better than anything he's ever had in Green Bay right now. So they play some real good teams, and but I like a methodical offense and a strong defense. So a few of the surprises up here, and I'd have to look back at who's won previously, but the 49ers, the Bills, the Eagles, I'm not going to include the Cowboys in this one, but those three have such good offenses. Like the other teams like are gonna have to score to at least keep up. I mean, not that they're gonna be pretty games.
Garbage time also hurts. I remember that Eagles game last year was like a Kenny Pickett game. He threw like 3 picks and AJ Brown went bananas. But then the Steelers had like 2 late game touchdowns and lost 38-21.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's not always going to be like that, but just if you score 28 to 30 plus points a game, other teams are gonna keep up just based on like the tempo and the how the game's played. The exception is the 49ers because God, they beat up people. I think teams quit against them.
They start needing the ball at halftime to go home. Yeah. All right. So let's go on. So next up we have, this is team to score the most regular season points. So obviously Chiefs, Bills, Eagles. Yeah, those are all boring. So I'm not picking those. Dolphins are there. We've already talked them up enough, so I don't want to say them either. I'm going to go with the team that we have to win the division handily, and that is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They just went out. They got all their toys. Calvin Ridley. Now Trevor Lawrence gets his second year in this system. They're going to be in a weak conference, blowing teams out. Or weak division, not weak conference. So I think they can come out and start, just rolling up the score on people with a great play caller, a great offensive scheme. And Doug Peterson isn't shy. When the Eagles were good with him, they were lighting people up. So I believe in the Jags to come out and do the same at plus 2,500.
I know we've talked them up a lot, but man, I like the Chargers here. A lot of it is because their team is going to give up points. I don't care. On paper, the Chargers have had such a good defense so many years, and I got it every single year. Teams still figure out a way to score on them, and especially with the way that this offense can move, I don't think that changes. So the more they score, fast-paced game. Hopefully, the Chargers will keep up. But I like them. I don't hate the Jaguars here at all. I just hope once again they don't win a lot of 24-7 games against their in-division opponents.
I think they can run the ball well enough that even when they're running out the clock, that Travis Etienne can maybe bust out a play. So that's my hope. Tank Bigsby. He looked good in preseason. Team to concede the most regular season points. So these are the worst defenses. All right. So I don't know here. I got to think for a minute.
Oh, I got 2 that I wanted to talk about.
All you.
These are 2 that I really like. Now, okay, there is an easy opt out if you really like the Broncos offense and like the Raiders. They just got to play the Chargers and the Chiefs 4 times. Like, I'm sorry, that's not fair. But the other one, looking at, I want to look at bad defense, but that's prone. Or an offense that I don't quite approximate to not make big mistakes. Welcome Justin Fields and the Chicago Bears. I think that if he's trying to pass more, you're going to see some untimely fumbles, untimely interceptions. And once again, like I expect a lot of high scoring games. I think that they'll be able to score a bit. I think that they'll be able to keep up with teams. But I really think that their defense, it's really going to show how bad that defense is. One other team that
one team one team I like is the Rams. All right. I don't know if you said them. You kind of cut out for my hearing. We should be okay though on recordings. Plus 1,100. And I know they have Aaron Donald, but I could see them moving Aaron Donald at the deadline. It seems like this team is ready to cut bait with its Super Bowl run and just move on. They knew what they got. And if they don't start off strong, I could see all their older players getting disgruntled. Like Stafford is apparently Matt Stafford's wife went on a podcast and said he's having trouble relating to young guys, and that's most of their team now. So I am just not trusting the Rams. I'm just not trusting the Rams to make smart decisions halfway through the year, blow up the roster, and just look ugly. They already got rid of Jalen Ramsey. Who knows how this defensive backfield is going to look without him in it? So I think, nicks and bruises on some of their best players will lead to more timeout, and that could lead to just letting teams run up the score on them.
Was Bobby Wagner cut?
Yeah, he is back with the Seahawks.
Oh, that's awesome for the Seahawks. I mean, just like the natural leader there. But yes, the Rams were the other team that I was going to talk about. Exact same thing. Poor defense, inopportune interceptions. Matt Stafford is that guy. I love Cooper Kupp this year. I think that whole offense, like I don't think that it's going to be centered around Cam Akers running the ball. It's going to be centered around Stafford and Kupp. And as long as he can stay healthy, he'll be leading my fantasy teams. So yes, I think that that Rams defense, that was the other one that I was going to pick with the Bears. Absolutely.
All right. That covers our little fun segment there. I think we did pretty good for not actually having looked at those.